Well, I'm joining three members of the cast in a vaulted chamber below the Abbey. This is the education room, but guys, for you lot, it's been your dressing room and will be for pretty well the rest of the month. Now, what I thought I'd do first of all is ask each one of you to introduce yourselves, like who you are for real and the characters you play. Glyn, let's start with you.
Well, I'm Glyn Dilly. I'm, as most of us are, a local actor. I live in Corsham. And I'm playing Peter Quince. I'm playing Aegeus, Hermia's father, and I'm also playing a fairy.
I would never have thought it. Tim, what about you?
Hello, I'm Tim Wells, and I play Bottom the Weaver, and I live locally just outside Bath as well.
Quite a role. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And Joe, you're the newcomer.
Yeah, so my name's Joe Bruce. I'm also local to Bath. I grew up here. I moved here when I was 4 and I lived my whole life here basically. I trained in London and I just graduated last year from Rose Bruford. And this is kind of, getting me into the swing of things. I play Lysander, Moth and Snug the Joiner.
Well, congratulations. And welcome to the cast. Now look, the company you're part of is celebrating its 20th anniversary. None of you, I take it, have been there or with it that long. You certainly haven't,
No, I
Joe.
certainly haven't.
And you guys, no.
Oh, neither of us has, but we could have been.
Exactly, yes.
Now, we're quite used to seeing actors, and I'm sure you are quite used to actually acting on a stage. How different is the setup here? And can we just explain to people who maybe haven't been to see the production yet how you're doing it? I mean, this is an abbey.
Well, it is an abbey, but those who may be a bit anxious about the fact that they think that we're not using stages, we are using stages in actual fact for some scenes when the action needs to be raised up for people to be able to see more clearly. There are some scenes where we have the audience gathering right round us. I don't think there's any scene where we're not all standing for that. And of course, when we've got a big circle, then the audience manages to spread out quite a bit. Hopefully the tall people go to the back and the short people come to the front, and that sort of all works out. Yeah.
Glyn, A Midsummer Night's Dream is a well-known production, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen a performance production of it. How different is it doing it in the Abbey? What is the big difference on using this particular facility? Maybe I should ask Tim that.
Yeah. Fine. Yes, well, I last did a production of this 33 years ago when I played Snug the Joiner. No, I'm Bottom. No, I'm Bottom. And it was very different. That was a proscenium arch standard theatre. This is quite magical because of the historical value of this immense structure, this beautiful piece of architecture, and the magic that can be created with obviously all of those associations, but also physically with the lights. The lighting is absolutely mind-bogglingly beautiful when you light up the vaulted ceilings and the columns as they become part of this magical forest. So that kind of ambience is difficult to beat. I mean, I don't know that many people will have encountered anything like this. And then of course the promenade aspect creates this sort of intimacy that you are going on a magical journey, so scene by scene. And obviously that presents some challenges, wrangling everybody into the right place, and we have a team of brilliant ushers who do that. And then we also as actors have to bear in mind that there are often audiences almost 360 degrees around us, but a lot of the time just around 180. But we have to take into account that these people must hear us and see us, and we must deliver bearing all of this in mind.
Yes, you're preempting the fact that that's a slight criticism I've received, that sometimes people can't hear an actor if that person turns the other way.
Yes.
But
so we've worked on that quite specifically with making sure projection is adequate and diction, and we have I think possibly from our experience last year doing Romeo and Juliet, also the staging has become quite a lot more attuned to that
Yeah.
issue. So we have quite a couple of these scenes where the audience is in the cloisters looking onto the stages. It becomes a lot more traditional in its setup, doesn't it?
But also, it is a problem that we constantly address and readdress. In fact, yesterday evening before the performance, we looked at a scene and we were tweaking the staging and to take into account the relationship of the actors to the audience, just to make it all more accessible to the audience. And for example, rather than on a proscenium arch stage where people could just stand and speak, we do a lot more moving within scenes so that the everybody gets an equal amount of the actors' faces, and so that it's a kind of very pretty democratic process in that sense.
Yes, it's interesting you mentioned projection. I mean, you are esteemed actors. I got no further than Ami Dramis for the YMCA, the Red Triangle players at Weston-super-Mare. But projection, of course, is all about getting the voice out there, isn't it? Joe, coming to you, with respect to these two gentlemen, a slightly younger actor and maybe more used to doing unusual performances, which this certainly is. But I was told it does last about 2 hours, and I'm just wondering, maybe a portion of your audience would, like me, be a certain age. There are no seats, are there?
Of course, yeah. So due to its promenade nature, it is standing for the entire production. But we do recommend that, firstly you wear comfortable shoes, don't come in any kind of heels or big boots or anything like that, because you'll be put at a disadvantage from the beginning. But you can bring along with you shooting sticks or fisherman's chairs and things like this, like easy, movable kind of, you can take on the go with you chairs that you could pop open, sit down for a scene, and then as soon as we're moving on to the next scene, you can stand up, pop it back together and go.
But just making the point, if it's some sort of open seat with a stick, no pointed, must have a rubber.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise,
to protect the Abbey, we don't want to cause any damage.
They just spent millions on it.
Of course. And I don't know if we have the kind of insurance to cover any damages like that. But also there are pews available just along the sides where a lot of the benches are.
The stone bench.
Yeah, which you can sit on. It isn't, unfortunately, you won't get as good of a view for the vast majority of the play, and it might be again even harder.
Is there an interval?
There is an interval. There's a 20-minute interval.
Okay,
where you can not only have a seat but get a drink as well, which is fantastic, and brings a bit of life back to your legs as well, unfortunately.
And also, if I may add that it's not standing in one place for the entire first half, and then you're watching a scene for 5 to maximum 10 minutes a scene,
Before
and then you're
move
moving on, so you're not just stuck in one place and then, oh God, get through my wine.
and nobody has keeled over so far, to your knowledge.
No.
Can I ask each one of you in turn, if you don't mind, how special doing something like this is to you, and what about the fact that you are doing Shakespeare's most famous comedy?
Well, yeah. I mean, you referred yourself to the tradition. It is a play that everybody knows, or imagines that they know, or at least have heard of. They'll have heard of Bottom if they've heard of nothing else.
Absolutely, yes.
And some of the lines will even be familiar. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, and all that sort of thing. So it does come with a fair amount of familiarity and expectation. That's kind of a good thing, because it sets a benchmark, and hopefully hopefully you're going to reach that benchmark at least, and perhaps exceed it. It is a double-edged sword, of course.
But what makes this special?
It is the building. Of course, it is the building. It's a remarkable building. It's a remarkable building in 2 ways. I mean, because of just physically and architecturally, but it also, you notice when you come into it, it's a very friendly building actually, and that's partly created by the way the staff behave. It's a very open building. They want people to come in. know, it is, and there's the audience members may not necessarily be aware of it, but there's a great deal of outreach from the organisation, the Abbey organisation.
Well, I tell you what, you would not have been able to do this production if the pews were still there.
Yes, indeed.
Tim, what about you? What's special about this for you?
Well, for me, this production, very similar to last year, just a wonderful bunch of people where everybody gets on brilliantly and everyone has amazing talent and ability, from the directors to every single member of the cast, and wonderful people helping backstage and on stage as ushers. So awesome ensemble feeling, and that is transposed to this year equally.
Absolutely.
Just a wonderful bunch of people, immense talent everywhere, and obviously the unique, as we've discussed, the setting is unique, but also the gift that John and Ben have as a team to be able to create magic out of this space with careful direction and vision that is world class. And I think people have witnessed that, and that's why word spread so fast last year, and why Romeo and Juliet was given an award. So I feel already word is spreading now. The feedback we've had from audiences has been amazing.
Well, hopefully this little chat with you three will help spread it even further. Do you do voiceovers?
I mainly am a voice actor.
I was going to say,
so this has wooed me back to the stage. John and Ben are responsible for bringing me back onto stage I last did a production before COVID, and then before that in 2016. So
that's great.
because it's so convenient to work from home, but well, this is not far from home, so
no, that's great to hear.
It's wonderful.
That's
to
great
touch
to hear.
base with this.
Joe, what will you take away from this?
I mean, for me, this is just like, it's such a fantastic opportunity, like you both said, to work with such a talented team of people. And the building is incredible. And I think what I've really enjoyed about it is that I think when people do Shakespeare, because it's Shakespeare, there's such a reverence around Shakespeare. And I think often that comes in a sense of fear to be able to have fun with it and to enjoy it. And I think something that Ben and John have really done, and I think we the cast have done very well as well, is that we've not been afraid to enjoy ourselves and to put our own spin on things, and to find our own journey on our own adventure through the play. And just for me personally, having grown up in Bath, I came and did my school services in this abbey. So, I mean, I never finished my levels because of COVID, but I came in here and I did a reading in here when I was like 13 or 14. And to be able to be back here and do a play here is a very, very full circle moment for me, which is really, really lovely.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, it's been a great pleasure.
Thank you.
Talking to all three of you.
Thank you.
And break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not literally.